I would like to be able to call on Kane's higher self, please. We have some questions.
Hello.
Hello. He would like to know, please, about the vision of angels descending to earth and what was that all about?
The vision was mostly symbolic, but it was also a fair representation of what you'll see when the beings from the angelic realm um, descend to meet you after your ascension.
Okay. And so, how will Kane see that?
They will ascend in groups, and we're showing Kane him running towards them. Uh, them giving him a group hug.
Nice. Okay. And can you give him a sense of what they look like?
We're showing Kane an image of them. They look different than you might expect. They have more detailed features in the fifth dimension because the vibrations had increased, so more details can be made out, and so they become more characteristic than they may look in the third dimension, as Kane has seen them before, as he sees them as mostly shadows. And the light that they emit is almost like having source um, manifested in a visual way right in front of you. So this is why they're loved so much, and they emit so much love because they are the closest thing to source that can travel multidimensionally within one being. So they will look bright white, but the light will look it will look like nothing you've ever seen before.
Thank you. And Kane would like to know about the solar flash and how can you explain what will happen to our DNA?
Mm. The energy in solar flash is not just light, it's information that will once interfaced with the DNA of your carbon-based bodies will set off a chain reaction that will cause an activation of the light body. And so it's like flicking a switch. It's like having, um, it's almost like a password. The light will um, put in the right information to your genetic structure for it to be activated.
Thank you. So, has our DNA already been upgraded?
From what time period?
Um, I don't know. Since we were born, I mean, has our DNA been changing and shifting?
Yes, your DNA is changing all the time, but we think you must be asking, has it been activated in terms of becoming crystalline?
I'm assuming that would only happen at the time of the shift.
Your DNA is being prepared, your bodies are being prepared. And so there is partial activation already, and you can all feel your light bodies inside you. That's why when you feel light, you're feeling your light body, and this is present within you right now. Uh, the light body is one layer, and the carbon-based body is another layer, and it'll be about switching from predominantly one to predominantly the other, and that's what these codes will do from the solar flash. And Kane now is remembering the puzzle analogy that was used a while ago to explain why he was receiving significantly more powerful upgrades for a short time. And the analogy was that uh, the ETs assisting in the ascension were using Kane's body as a um, testing ground, and that it was a puzzle of some sort, and that when the puzzle was solved, then that sequencing could be used on others. And Kane's resisting this information, but it seems like the the information that was received from the uh, experiment on Kane that was graciously agreed to by him and all other star seeds on Earth who have received profound upgrades. This information has been synthesized and has contributed to the um, final final sequence that has been selected to be emitted the from the from the flash.
Okay, thank you. And so the separation of the crystalline layer and the carbon layer that happens at the moment of the flash, does it?
Yes, one will you'll switch from predominantly carbon to predominantly crystalline.
Okay.
It's a binary option. This is one thing we want to explain is that it's yes, it's a switch. It's a switch. Uh, everyone will have different. Everyone has different degrees of activation right now, but one thing that will be consistent among all beings who will be in the fifth dimensional Earth, the Earth, is that they will all be over 50% crystalline.
Okay, thank you. And so um, I'm still trying to understand the process. So what's left on Earth, on this Earth, after the flash will be the bodies we can see now, but they look like they have passed on.
Yes.
And then the crystalline based body will go and shift with the help of other beings.
The crystalline body will take part of the density of your physical bodies with it. It's like a, a very thin casing that will be drawn from the bodies that are left on Earth. And so there'll be, in some ways, two physical bodies at one time. The crystalline body that will be on the Earth will have taken some of your matter from the 3D plane.
Okay. And for the people who are actually dying and not going to the new Earth, will it just be their soul essences returning to returning to source versus the carbon-based body going to the new Earth?
Yes, the carbon-based bodies will not be 100% of their bodies will remain here.
Uh-huh. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. And then Kane would like to know how we perceive the fifth dimensional new Earth with only partial activation.
Well, one thing to remember is that at the edge of the upper limit of the fifth dimension, that is where you will reside when you are entirely crystalline. So the lower densities within the fifth dimension are still accessible with partial crystalline activation.
Okay. Thank you. That makes sense. And then can you show Kane how he's going to get to New Earth?
We're showing Kane. He's lying down, and then blinding white light and warmth is showering down him, and he is physically floats upward, and then state of peace, and then that's it.
So he's laying down and then suddenly he's bolting up.
Yeah.
And what does he suddenly notice when he's bolted up?
Nothing. He loses consciousness once he arrives on the ship.
Aha. So he arrives on the ships and he doesn't recall anything about the journey on the ships.
Well, this depends on how he how explorative he's feeling in the weekdays before the shift, and we're laughing at it because it's part of Kane's nature to push the boundaries a little bit. And so, if anyone's going to be awake on the ship, it'll be him.
Okay. And can we acknowledge the crew on this ship for him that will be taking him to New Earth? And we thank them and respect all of the work that they're doing now and will be doing for Kane and his family and his community.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Kane would like to also know more information about what he would be doing on the new Earth. And he's very curious to find out whether we will be building a new civilization.
Yes, you'll be building a new civilization in the sense that the new Earth will have you'll develop your own culture and you'll develop your own ways of living and your own traditions. And these may sound like egoic constructs, but the new Earth will be a blank slate and you'll want to create. And so these aspects of civilization will be very much um, down to you to create. In terms of becoming an organized and advanced community, uh, things will be much more simple on the earth, and so complex civilization uh, will uh, not necessarily be something that exists in.
Yes, thank you. I completely understand. He wants to sense and see if there are any buildings that already exist on New Earth.
We're showing him a building. It's like a giant crystal, and the the top is a very tall building. It's extremely tall. The top of the building, the crystal comes to a point, and it has light streaming around it, kind of like uh, almost like water flowing over it, but it's light. It's very, very beautiful.
Lovely. It does sound lovely.
There are people there already.
They've already.
Uh, we were showing Ken struggle with this, but it seems like there are people there already building things, creating things.
Nice.
Oh, I feel awake.
They've popped you awake.
Yeah.
Well, you were not supposed to see that.
Well, this is the funny thing. I thought that was the kind of thing that we weren't meant to see because anytime we asked about details about that, sorry, I'll shut up. Let's go back and
Okay, we'll get back in there. Hang on. Hi there. Why did you wake up my client?
well, there are certain details that are better left a surprise. It's really all about trying to make it more fun for kids. Mm,
Okay, so you don't want me to ask any more questions about what we were just talking about?
mm, yeah, we can move on then.
Okay, we'll move on. So then, will people be arriving after he arrives? He wants to know if will, as founding members of the new Earth, how much more people will we expect to arrive after we have?
Yeah, so people will come in trickles at first. Um, these people will be the people who did not quite have a high enough state or decisive enough that they want to be on the earth many are light workers and starseeds, and who had a small amount of work to continue on Earth, and so uh, they will arrive in small numbers, and then there'll be huge swathes of people coming.
But everyone leaves the same time.
Yes, is a good question. Time will be on the Earth. It will not feel like there's a gap in between this occurring, but there will be some time in between uh, these people leaving the Earth. Years can feel like no time at all on the Earth.
Mm-hmm. But everyone leaving this current Earth, everyone leaves on the same sort of time, but with different ships, and then arrive at different times, in quotation marks word time, and arrive on New Earth.
Yes.
Or is it that people?
No. Case resistance.
Okay, well, Kane can relax, and
No, people. Uh, some people will leave the 3D Earth after you've left the 3D Earth, and they'll come to the new Earth.
that's the smaller percentage of number. Is it correct?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay. Thank you. So the majority is still going to shift next month. Is that correct?
Yes, this is correct. It just seems like when Kane was showing the trickle of people, and then large numbers of people, that was just in comparison to the small numbers. The vast majority of people believing on the 21st.
Okay. Is there anything else? Is there anything that's changed from any of Kane's other sessions that you want to tell us about in terms of timelines?
There will be no great reveal, as you understand it.
Is that the heartbreak that we were being told about on the 11th of November? Or is that something else?
The heartbreak was referring to um, the collective heartbreak on the 11th, as it appeared that the New World Order timeline was uh, about to be realized, and so the heartbreak was described as a global healing kind of session, and that was true. That was accurate. Mm, and it's Kane's thinking now if he misinterpreted misinterpreted his the scene of you watching the television in the dark with your family. If this was a broadcast, but this was actually more symbolic, and it was true. This was true. This is many people who are aware of the ascension, the New World Order, and for a short time, even people who were awake and understood the bigger plan had some fear in them because it looked so convincing that Biden might win for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how is everyone awakening? Is that still on the good percentage and everyone still doing well?
Yes, this has been surpassed for a while. Uh, the ascension has, in the last year, the elevation of consciousness has exceeded our hopes for humanity.
Mm. Okay. And what do you say, subconscious, to the people who say that they have ascended this year?
This is not true.
I'm not judging, I'm not laughing at all. I just feel sorry for people who are a bit confused about some of the terminologies about what's happening to them and to things in our future.
Yes, this is important, and Kane has been thinking about this week, and he has come to the correct conclusion, and he experienced confirmation, uh, goosebumps over this, uh, uh, because he's correct in his understanding of what it really means. And when the great message that was sent out among other people's higher selves and the ETs assessing humanity a long time ago was that the fifth dimension is not a place, it's a state of consciousness. This was at first helpful, but now has become a corrupted statement. People don't really understand what it means. Originally, it was said, has to be remembered that when these messages were delivered to humanity, the density of the planet was much greater, people were much less awakened, and this statement had to be more blunt for it to for people to understand it. So the statement, the fifth dimension is not a place, as a state of consciousness, is just a basic um, understanding, a description of the nature of reality. And so it's being confused now, as in we are in, you're in a 3D matrix, and you're going to a fifth dimensional matrix. But within the third dimensional matrix, your consciousness can ascend out of the 3D matrix. Although this is extremely rare, it's not something that is experienced. It takes decades of spiritual practice to be able to do this. So when people say, I am in 5D right now, or I have been in 5D right now, this is ego. This is just people having ego. It's impossible for this to be true for the person unless they are highly advanced in spiritual practices, like a monk, for example. The fifth dimensional state of consciousness can experience a taste of it here, but it is limited, inherently limited by uh, the physical vessel that you occupy. And so the statement now has been corrupted and it's not helpful.
Mm.
But the fifth dimensional state of consciousness will allow you to operate within the fifth 5D matrix, allow you to perceive the 5D matrix and experience the 5D matrix, because your outer reality is a reflection of your consciousness. Um, you need a truly fifth dimensional state of consciousness to experience a 5D matrix in a stable way.
Thank you. Yes, and until we leave this planet, we're not going to be, we're still always going to be on 3D, which always has limitations. So thank you very much for that. Um, was the shift feeling that Kane had and many others had a few nights
We
ago?
would like to we would like to make one other point on
Sure.
the fifth dimensional the statement that it's a state of mind, not place. People must reflect, understand what the fifth dimension means in many ancient religions and uh, uh, descriptions of the nature of the reality in the universe. The fifth dimension is uh, comparable to heaven for many Christians. It is a infinitely divine state for Buddhists. It is a entirely new realm. It's the afterlife in many ancient religions. And so, if you look around at the reality that you live in now and the horror, the chaos, the carnage, the suffering, if you say that you are in fifth dimension here, then you are going against every major legend and ancient tradition, in that the fifth dimension is a place of peace, absolute peace and harmony and unity. And this is not that. The experience you have now is nothing like it.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. A few days ago, a lot of people were experiencing some very epic experiences with what seemed like upgrades potentially. Um, Kane has referred it to as the shift feeling. What was happening there? Can you tell us?
The axis of the Earth has tilted slightly, and this is to do with the gravitational forces that are now coming to play, which have not been uh, in play on Earth for many, many, many thousands of years. And so this is partly what people felt. The gravitational tilt changed people's states of consciousness and allowed for a more free flowing state of mind and a less egoic attachment to the 3D. This is the nudge that is being prepared, that's preparing you for the final um, uh, the final detachment from the 3D Earth.
Thank you. And will the energies just from now on just get higher and higher and more blissful, or will we still have some dips?
It's going to become more extreme. That's a better way of describing it. So extreme highs and then some extreme lows, but nothing to fear. It's just the nature of frequency increasing. It's shaking off the. In some ways, you could say it's shaking off the negativity, and many people feel after the most recent depressions and energy, they feel really done with the 3D energy, and so this is also we're hoping that you experience highs and lows because it allows you to see contrast and allows you to realize that you want to let go of the 3D. And this has been true for Kane and Andrew as well.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Thank you. In terms of the 14th of December, Kane would like to know if there is a significance in that date.
Well, we would say expect the unexpected here in terms of the your experience in the last week here. Mm, you underestimate the experience and the magnitude of the divinity of the experience you're about to go through. It'll be extremely, extremely profound. And the 14th will be the trigger for the beginning of the energy.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell us about that?
No.
Okay, thank you. Kane would like to know what is Jesus's role in the event, and will we see him?
There will be a point when the solar flash hits Earth and your states of consciousness will manifest quickly, almost instantly for a short time. And so Christians who expect and believe is the keyword, believe in Jesus Christ and his return to earth, will experience Jesus on earth.
Okay. And so will that be the same if people believe in other gods or special people?
Yeah, yes, this is how it works. This is how it works. This is why each prophecy in each religion describes each of their gods or deities or ascended uh, beings coming to uh, deliver them to the next life is because um, as the energy arrives and the frequency increases and you leave the 3D matrix, the nature of reality changes and instant manifestation can occur. And so your belief is manifested in front of you. And so that's why so many different religions can uh, experience their savior at the same time. And there's no point in us getting into religion or the differences in religion, but people will experience uh, a divine being if they expect it.
Okay, thank you. I understand. Kane has said in a question that he's kind of nervous as the Bible doesn't mention ETs in the rapture. He wants to know why this is.
The extraterrestrials were in the Bible, but they were they removed. The Bible has been subverted and corrupted many, many times, and so although the word of many of the uh, in the revelations and of the apostles and Jesus' followers, uh, they were divinely inspired and have uplifted humanity. Uh, the details are not as important as you think, and so there's nothing to fear.
Would you be able to say subconscious is the angels that are mentioned in the Bible? Could that actually be actually other beings versus, well, angels could be ETs? Is that a fair statement?
Well, yes, that's true in some ways. Uh, it's you could fill many sessions on the many changes to the Bible that have occurred, but yes, that's in some ways that's true.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Uh, is there anything else that you want to tell us about the Bible that you want Cain to notice or focus on?
Focus on, Cain should focus on uh, the word of Jesus' parables, and he take the messages that he feels resonate highest and to focus on these because it'll give him faith.
Nice. Okay. Subconscious, can you tell me about nuclear weapons that are on this planet? Are we safe from these?
All the nuclear weapons on this planet have been disabled.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you. This has been said to me many times in a session, in many sessions. Curious, I just read from someone that the dark was warlording over us with nuclear warlording over the light with the threat of activating nuclear weapons onto humanity. This is from a spiritual group. What do you have to say about that?
The weapons might be just as well as filled up with flour or sand. They're completely ineffective, and so this is an inaccurate statement. The time of hostage taking and the risk of that is over. Um, this is not going to happen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. I have a question about. Okay, totally self indulgent. Tell me, subconscious, are there octopuses on the new earth?
Yeah.
um, is there any types of beings that don't want to come to the new earth that we know of now?
No one doesn't want to be on the earth. Everyone wants to be on the earth. All beings um, subconsciously want to be on the earth, but not all can. The reptiles, reptilian race, are the most prominent example, and Cain is resisting this, but sharks won't be either. Uh, he's resisting this now because it sounds ridiculous, but alligators, crocodiles won't be. Reptilian, those of reptilian descent across the animal kingdom and in humans. They
Well,
just don't want to.
thank you. It's kind of making New Earth even more attractive to me. I don't know why. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so what would you like Kane to do from now until December? And what is your general message for him?
Slow down, stop counting down the days. He came to the understand realization last night that he contracted to be here at this time, and so he has gone through a lot of things in life that were very difficult and very challenging, and uh, these things were before he incarnated here. He knew that he did want to experience these things to learn lessons, but he also knew that the deal was that to come here on Earth at this time to experience the ascension, that he would have to help humanity, and that's by taking on some karma and converting it and turn it into unconditional love. And so the work is over, has been over for some time now, but this now is the reward. And although he thinks the new earth is the reward, this is also the reward. It's like going on holiday when, uh, the holiday starts as soon as the plane leaves the runway, and that's the that's the point you're at now. So just enjoy the closing hours now uh, of life here, and just be present and enjoy the energies. And if he was more present, he would be able to feel the subtleties of the changing vibration of the planet, which is a very uh, enjoyable thing if you just try and be present more.
Thank you. Is there anything that he's going to miss here on this earth that he wishes he could have done more of when he reflects back on this lifetime?
He wish he'd spent more time with um, his wider family. Not that they won't be here, but they won't be there. But the just at playing the characters and roles that they're playing now, uh, it's a unique experience. It may seem dull now. It may seem dull and routine and limited, but once he has ascended, you'll see that it was quite a unique experience, uh, a novel experience. Once you have the bigger picture, to experience so much density and such a peculiar reality compared to the rest of his existence, his known existence. It really is extremely unique. And so it's not that he needs to try and write a bucket list and go and live, squeeze much life out of the time left. It's more just that to drop the resistance to things and just to accept things as they are, because otherwise he'll feel he'd wished he'd just relaxed a bit more. So yeah, that's yes, that's it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And we were wondering if we could learn about Kane's connection with Dolores Cannon, please.
Dolores would like to come in now.
Fantastic.
Hello, Joanne.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yes, I'm fine. Um, Kane is a very, very special person to me, and I love him very much. And I love all of you so much. I love you, Andrew, as well. I'm so proud to see you all working together. It's exactly how I hoped that it would go for you. And Kane and I have had lifetimes similar to I've had with Andrew, where we have worked together to preserve information and to encourage enlightenment and awakening in other beings. And this is why Kane feels such strong connection to me. And this is our best mission yet. This has been the most fulfilling mission yet for me and for Kane, what he realized once he is in the new Earth. And Kane has been thinking about uh, why didn't I stay here for the ascension? It'd be amazing to have uh, for me to be here during the ascension shift. And the reason that I left was because it would allow for more souls to grow if I passed on, and then I was able to work with them on the other side. Because there would be a risk near the end if my work had become so central to the awakened community and all the volunteers that I would become deified, and that's not what I wanted to happen. That's not what was good for everyone. And so, uh, you know, my work is carried on by Julia and by all the other GHHT practitioners and anyone who signs up for GHHT session. The work continues on, and it's just going. It's beyond my wildest dreams. How 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 well how much my work has impacted everyone.
Yes, it's been amazing. I still feel and wonder though, if you were alive now, more people would know about the shift to New Earth.
Of course, of course, of course. But the right amount of people know, just the right amount of people know. Um, it doesn't necessarily help, or it doesn't necessarily help the mission and the community for more and more people to know. The right amount of people know.
Thank you. And were you part of helping Kane and myself connect?
Mm, yeah,
Nice.
yes, this was well, me and many others uh, decided that it was a good time.
Thank you. Thank you. And
You both gave me, you both, you both gave me permission before you left to do that. So,
thank you. Thank you for helping us. In terms of, there's a conversation that Julia is going to be having to the QHHT community in a few days regarding the difference between the old Earth and the new Earth. Um,
this is, oh, please go on.
um, saying that the new Earth is going to transform into the old Earth is going to transform into the new Earth.
This event is, uh, it's, it's not exactly how I would have liked their work to be um, progressing. Um, but although it seems like a big deal now, it won't really matter once everyone's shifted.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. Just feels like it's uh, causing more confusion when people listen to these sessions about the shift in December. And I know a whole lot of other practitioners now are getting the same information, and yet the official QHHT people are saying something quite different.
Yes, it's very difficult and it's quite misleading. It is very misleading for people. Uh, but this now is an opportunity for people to use their intuition um, and side with what they know is true. And so it's much easier for some people to accept that the old Earth will transform into the new Earth. It's much, much easier for people to conceptualize. Once you introduce the idea of going to another planet, this introduces 1,000 more questions for people. And you and Andrew and Kane are a bit unique in that you are, although yes, you have lives on lives on this planet that you're happy to pursue. You're all ready to go. This is partly because you are highly advanced beings. You've already been through the 5D, and you want to just get back up to a higher density. Um, and many people would struggle with this, and so the people who find your information and resonate with your information decide to turn away from the other information. Uh, those people are being served well by listening to you, but some people it does not serve them to understand the what might seem like large details, but details of the ascension because uh, they are not spiritually weak enough to accept that this life as they know it will be um, effectively replaced by something um, infinitely better, but effectively they're all left to be um, to disappear, and so it's can serve them better to know uh, more a more uh, unclear and broader picture.
Thank you. And is there anything else you want to tell us that you feel is
Ju-
important?
Julia is Julia is partly aware of this as well. She is receiving she's receiving information that the shift will be on the 21st, but she also she's partly resisting it, and because she doesn't feel like she has made me proud enough with the work, but that's not true. I'm very proud of her. She's done it amazingly well. Uh, but uh, she's also aware at a subconscious level that by giving it a less, uh, giving more of the outline of what will happen, it can help people because of they'll be able to handle the information better.
Hmm. Thank you.
Mm.
And can we get a sense of when the shift of at what point in our history did we change into this time line where we had to go to a new planet?
2009.
Okay. Um, okay. And so you must have got information from your work that we had to go to a new planet.
Yeah, and this is the same reason why uh, I knew that there wasn't necessarily enough time for me to be able to articulate this to people without them panicking, and it wasn't 100% certain when I was going to leave the Earth, and so um, and that was done on purpose. So I didn't want to know exactly when I'd be leaving. So uh, although I although I feel I had a sense of when it would be, uh, at that time, I was prepared that I could leave within the next few years, and I didn't see that as nearly enough time for this to be explained to people properly, and so this has been part of a larger plan. It's been part of a bigger plan. Uh,
Thank you. And I know you've dealt with all your sessions so much information about the afterlife. So when you experienced it for yourself, um, did you have any surprises?
I wish I could say I was surprised, but it was exactly what I thought.
Well, that's fantastic. Um, and so it was a positive experience for you, obviously, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Wonderful. And
I always wish that all of the volunteers would get to experience a death like a death, a normal death, because it's such a beautiful experience. But that's not what the plan is. So
yeah, because even when you're on the new earth, the death process is quite different, isn't it?
yes, there is not really concept of death on the new.
Yeah. Bless you for wishing people to experience death. Well, we can sense it. We're so empathic. We can sense and feel other people's pain and struggle through the process of it, but we can't see the beauty of the release of the body. But I guess, is it going to be very close when we do the shift in December?
Yes, so this the energy the energy will be very similar. So it will be similar in some ways. Um, so not something that I like to describe it as, although I know most of the people listening now are awakened, so they're not afraid of death really. But in some ways, this is death, death you experience, going to experience.
Well, it is. I mean, it's a change. It's a death of a cycle, end of a cycle, leaving the bodies that we can feel right now and the lives that we're living right now to move to
Mm.
something that's we can only fantasize about being heaven without it being heaven.
Of course, you will not, you will not really, you can never really understand until you're here.
Mm, yeah. Okay, thank you. Is there any final messages that you want to share with us, Dolores?
The earth is, uh, uh, the energy in the earth now is changing dramatically over the last few nights, and it is the birth pangs spoken about in the Bible will begin because of this. And so it's important to remember that everything you see from now on the news and in your life, is all divinely inspired.
That sounds pretty exciting and fantastic. And I really appreciate you coming in today. I know Kane's going to really appreciate knowing more about your connections together because I know that he has got such a profound respect for you. So thank you, Dolores.
Thank you.
We will send you off on your merry way with much love.